Hey there, gamers all around. Welcome, welcome. Here we are back at it again with niche, however it is that you want to call it. I am trying something new and something different. I'm going to use like a guide, okay? My voice is going to be like a guide of like what I need to do. I don't have a script, but I'm going to make one up as I go along. My goal is to get to here in the game. I'm going to try it differently, okay? I'm just gonna go by what I'm trying to get at here. Okay. So I'm gonna start off with naming my creatures. Cause some of these names I don't think are suitable. So, okay, okay, I need a female name that's not copyright. Here. I'm gonna edit most of this out. I actually like that name. I'm gonna keep her name. Mimi, it's easy for me to remember. I'm gonna keep that. But some of these, or like some of the names, like while I'm naming these creatures, I'm gonna like edit it out. Anyways, just hold on. I got a perfect name for you. That's not copyright. I just calling him Spiky because of his spikes. I know there's a name that's Spiky as well. Someone, you know, there's a character named Spiky. I know that. I'm not naming him for the character. I'm naming him because of his personality traits. He has a spiky body. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Wow. Okay. I'm naming you Mark. No, that is not copyright. No, that is not, Markiplier reference. That is not. I'm not naming him Mark because he's red and Markiplier dyed his hair red at one point. I'm not doing that because of that. It's just the first name that came to my mind. So please don't copyright strike me. And Markiplier, if you see this, congrats on you. You're a big role model in my life, but yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up now before I get in trouble. Okay, please don't copyright strike me. I am not naming this for the historical pilot, but I'm just naming her that. It's the first name that came across my mind. Most of these names that I give these creatures are the very first name that came to my mind, so if that shares, like, a reference, or if that shares a name with someone else that's also famous, don't copyright strike me, please. It's the first name that came to my mind. I probably don't even know if that person exists, okay? Some of these names I know that exist, like Mark, I know. Amelia, I know, okay? I'm probably gonna name somebody Jack, and that's not gonna be a reference, as much as I would want it to be a reference, and it's not a copyright thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna add another 30 minutes to my timer, because I spent at least 15 solid minutes on trying to find names for everybody, and I haven't even started playing yet, so, okay. I'm gonna try something a little different here. I'm gonna start from out back, and I'm going to try something a little different. Maybe it'll help me. April. Okay, I'm gonna start with you. You're a strength of 7. Tear down the termite hill. Oh, she did not know that there was termites in there ready to pick at her, so she jumps out of the water, calling out to Amanda to help her. Amanda is blocked by bushes, though. She tries to walk around the bush, goes underwater, reaches her just barely in the nick of time, but she's not able to lick off of April's termites because she's out of energy. She used up all of her energy panicking on trying to rescue April. So April, she has to wait like an extra day. Charlotte's happily picking off the berry bushes. She decides to destroy the berry bush over here to try to minimize the chances that the other bunnies would take from her. There are bunnies on the same side that she took a berry off of that are still stealing berries from her. And Nox likes his toxic berry bushes. Or he likes his toxic berries, so he's picking off of the toxic berry bushes. He is not affected by the poison fangs, so he is just enjoying his toxic meal, not being affected by it. Because he's immune to the poison. The poison fangs makes him immune. Alright, Joey. Joey cleans out some grasses and picks off some berries from the bush and runs forward to find a nest, a permanent nest, right in the bushes over there. Let me see, are you two related? I'm gonna break off from the story a little bit just to see, just to play the game. Okay, so Joey, okay, you two do share an immunity gene. Immunity gene G. What about April? Yeah, you share immunity gene G. Amanda and Joey are basically brother and sister, I would imagine, because they share the same immunity genes, so that's a no-go. Trying to see who's compatible with who. And it probably doesn't even matter at this point, honestly. So Joey and Lata could have a family if they wanted to, because, I mean, like, this group is the one that's going off to the next island, so it really doesn't matter in my mind, and I'm so sorry I cannot sell it as good as someone else I know that I also follow on YouTube. Okay, anyways. Well, I don't know her, but whatever. Anyway, so Lata goes running towards the berry bush. She reveals it and removes the grass, so that way other wanderers could find the berry bush as easily, or just as easily as she did. Joe is clearing out some bushes. He's also running towards the rest of the pack here. Most of them are all females, because most of their males are either growing old or they're too slow. So, whoa, Joe is trying to catch up to the rest of the pack. He wants to go on to the journey with the rest of the crew members over here. They probably would need him because he's a strength of 8, or he has a strength of 8. Harry clears out some bushes, clears out some grasses, moves a little closer. He doesn't want to really go on to the adventure. He's not really an adventure type, the person. So he's just happily clearing some grasses for the rest of the crew that's gonna most likely stay behind. Adria, she clears some bushes. She is not immune to the toxic berry bush, so she does not eat from the toxic berry bush. So she just moves on over, tries doing some sniffing. She sniffs the Dodomingo. She can't really do anything about it right now. And she listens and she hears nothing. Zachary, that tree's kind of in the way of that Dodomingo and Zachary. So it's really not that helpful. But he's kind of a good swimmer, so he goes into the water. Has his webbed feet, and he can move a little faster than when he could on water or on land. Don Duck, he collects some berry bushes, or he collects some berries from the bush. Realizes that he took all of them, and then he destroys the bush. He tries to go digging. Oh well, he was successful with finding that root, despite not having a digging paw. I am not selling it as good as the other person. Mark clears some grasses. He goes up onto this stump, and then he calls out. And then he realized, hey, I could call out for people. And then Kyle found acorns. He found acorns, and he tries to crack them open, but he's not very good at them. So Adam the second starts, comes over towards the mole because he sees that the mole just popped out of his hole. Then he, mauls him like a bear, just collects berry bushes. Or not berry bushes, he collects the meat, the mole meat. Matthew clears some grasses, and then he, heads towards the dark shades of the grass. Amelia, let's see. I could take you on the journey. No, you're not. You're useless to me. Amelia might feel a little useless, so she destroys the berry bush to prove herself, and then clears some grasses. It's she's testing herself, and I forgot about this young one. I am so sorry, but I like that name anyway, so I'm keeping it. Tammy clears some bushes. She runs towards the darkness of the shadows. She sniffs. She smells some bunnies in the distance, and then she listens because she has good listening ears. And she hears more bunnies than what she could smell. So that was good. And then that's... Oh yeah, I forgot about our traveling group. How could I forget my traveling group? Okay. So Ramira runs over to the bunny, mauls the bunny, and takes the meat from the bunny. And Jessica clears some grasses as she gets a little closer to the ports. Mimi runs over to the ports and start, clearing some grasses, making some way, revealing the rock. That's not very helpful, but revealing the rock anyways. Sanvi, she runs over to, the shore and then over to the ports. And Brianna, she collects berry bushes, she collects grass. I think she thinks that she's getting some nest material. She got some nest material. She didn't get a lot. Ali. Or it's just Al. I wanted to call him. Al, he runs over. Gee, what are your compatible signs? Yeah, you guys are actually compatible. Okay, so Al comes over to Jessica. He's old. Does he have mutation? Yeah, he already has mutations. Normal blood clotting, normal fertility. What about you? You don't have any. Oh, yeah. You got a lot of negative traits I gotta get rid of. Okay, I'm outside of the story mode now, okay, so, I'll get back to the story mode in a sec, okay? So yeah, I gotta get rid of that eye. That blind eye. That's not good. And then hemophobia and low fertility. But I only have room for one more, so I'm gonna do normal fertility because no, I'm gonna do normal blood clotting. I know where I was going with that one. I'm going with normal blood clotting. Okay. Alright. Well, he just sits right by Jessica and clears some grasses. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time left, but he knows on his lifespan, but he knows that Jessica has a whole life ahead of her. So he decides to wait one full day before telling Jessica his feelings for her. Because Al has developed some feelings for Jessica. Oh, James went fishing because he saw some fish in there. Ella goes over here to go fishing with James. I think they might be brother sister. No, they're not. Okay, they're compatible. But I'm not gonna say that in this story because that's not story related. So Ella just goes fishing with James because Ella was very curious about James and like how he was doing it. Like he was just standing on top of this rabbit stump, not even realizing that he's standing on top of a rabbit stump. But he went fishing, and that attracted Ella. Ella came over and started to like just poked her paws right in and took out some fishes and was like, "Hey, I like this, so I'm gonna do this with you." Spiky, he likes his acorns, so he takes some acorns. He realizes that berry bush has run dry, so he's running out to join the rest of the pack. Even though if he's getting old. He still wants to be part of the crew members, even though if he's getting old and he may not survive the trip, he still wants to be part of the journey. So he goes off, tries to join the rest of his pack members. And then we're just gonna go over here. It sounds like something was crawling in the night while we were sleeping. So let's sniff around, listen around. Okay, so that could be the peaceful bear that was growling. And April did cry because she did take, like, she's injured. And Amanda, she's not able to lick the wound, but she's able to lick some of the termites off of April, so that way she would stop bleeding. And then she runs over to here because she knows that there is a healing fruit right over here that she can gain her lifespan back, pretty much, or gain her life, you know, get a longer life with that. Charlotte, she picks off of the berry bush. She picks off the very last of the berry bush, and then she destroys it because she does not want those bunnies to steal more of her fruits. She likes her fruits, so she destroys them. Of course, she leaves just a stem behind so that way they can grow back. And then she tries to dig. She didn't get very far with digging, but she tries to dig regardless. Knox is getting kind of old, so he stays behind and collects his toxic berry bushes. Joey found another berry bush, so he's collecting berries off of that, and he's uncovering some grass. And then Lata uncovers some grass and collects some berries right beside him. And then Lata, she walks forward to discover the permanent nest right there. And although they aren't completely compatible, because they do have that immunity gene G that you have to be careful of, they kind of like each other. I mean, Joey thinks that Lata is kind of cute, so, I mean, Joey thinks Lata is adorable because of her, like, her mask, her body, her, like, pattern, her appearance, so, you know, Joey fell for her, you know. And I guess Joey showed his appreciation for her by uncovering this permanent nest over here. So Adam the Second, he sees that mole, but he knows that he can't just go in front of the mole because he knows that the mole is going to run away. So he just waits his turn. Matthew uncovers some grass, and then Adam the Second is able to lunge forward and take over that mole, and he's able to get more food for the rest of the tribe. Amelia, she still is running and uncovering some grasses. Matthew takes some berries for the road trip for the rest of the tribe. And look, there's a little bunny that's right under Amelia. Looks like they're kind of buddy pals. No, like Amelia has a little bunny pet now. And Tommy, she clears some grasses. And then Kyle is getting frustrated. It's his last day. He jumps onto the stump and he just starts calling for Don Duck or somebody just to come over and just to take these acorns, because Kyle knows that the tribe needs as much food as they possibly can get. And hello! Mark sees that there is a rogue male in the water. So Mark is keeping his eye onto the rogue male, and he calls out onto the stump as well. Zachary isn't having it, so he comes over to try to give him a pep talk. Alright, it's like, hey, you stay in the water or you stay away from our females and we won't cause any trouble. That's our deal. That's what Zachary tells the rogue male. We'll just call him Duke. Okay? Harry, he cleans up some grasses. He jumps over, he sees that... Well, he doesn't see. He smells that there's a root under that patch of grass, so he tries to dig, and he's not able to dig the patch of grass. Joe, on the other hand, sees that there's this mole over here, so he jumps over and takes some, so the rest of the tribe can have some meat. Ella takes all the fish, takes some algae, and Ella kind of impressed James when she did that. So James cleared the rest of the grasses over here. And then for Al and Jessica, Al was able to confess his feelings for Jessica on the, previous night. So they were able to, get along with each other, and Jessica will have, Al's baby. Unfortunately, Al will not survive to live through to, seeing and meeting his newborn baby. So, I mean, it's really a sad, unfortunate turn of events, but it happens. Sanvi cleans up some grasses. Mimi comes over, takes care of the rabbit. Ramira comes over, cleans up some grasses. And then Brianna kind of rushes over to Jessica because she knows that Jessica probably isn't feeling too the best. She probably knows that something is up, but she doesn't know what it is exactly. That Jessica's not feeling well because she's pregnant. And Brianna probably doesn't know that. But Brianna runs over to Jessica to sit by her side and just try to help her feel better. Spiky, he cleans up some grasses. He doesn't even realize how much time he has left on his hands. He picks some berries because he really wants to prepare for this next trip that they're going on to, but he doesn't even realize that he doesn't have that much longer to live. And then we're gonna zoom right on to Jessica and see what her newborn baby looks like, and we will say goodbye to Al. She goes on to the spirit world. And the rain came with him. The rain came as Al went on to the spirit world, and it looks like Jessica had a son. Jessica had a son, so Jessica wants to honor Al in his honor, so she calls him Junior. Now, no one really knows why she picked Junior as a name for him, but she just did. She just sort of picked Junior as a name. They don't know if it's short for like Junior Al or Junior Alexander or Junior Alex. They don't know. But all they know is his name is Junior. That's his name. So Jessica calls him Junior. We don't. The rest of the tribe may not know why, but Jessica certainly knows why. She has called her son Junior. So she picks off some berries to take care of her child, her baby, her son. Ramira, she clears off some grasses for, you know, more of the tribe members to show up and be onto the flower ports. And then, Mimi helps Ramira clean up. Sanvi, takes out one of the bunnies. Brianna doesn't really want to leave Jessica's side because she still knows that Jessica isn't feeling well. Maybe that's more mentally or spiritually, but she just knows that something is up, so she stays by Jessica's side. And she picks off some berries, and then she realized she picked off the last of the berries, so she decides to go ahead and swipe down that berry bush all the way down. Just cut it down. Spiky, he picked some berries, still not realizing how little time he has on his lifespan. And then he clears the grass. James, on the other hand, James goes right in front of Ella, and he kind of nuzzles with her. And they make a nest together, and James is able to take some berries for his future possible family that may or may not be onto the ports, because they might be kind of out of space, but they really do need some males, despite the fact that Junior is coming. Oh, and I just realized Junior has 2 deformed paws. Wow, okay. He has big ears, so that'll be good for sensing danger. Joe, he takes care of a bunny, goes over to the berry bush, but then he kind of forgets that there's a whole journey of an adventure going on right here. Harry, he kind of just stays around and picks off some grass. So does Audrey. Audrey just stays behind. Oops, I meant to pick off some berries, but I guess Audrey was kind of wanting to know what was all the fuss about, because I guess she heard Zachary growl at the rogue male, and Zachary is coughing now because he's ill. Whatever it was that the rogue male had, he has obviously passed it on to Zachary, so Zachary is now ill. Mark calls for help, but there's nothing that anyone can really do about it. Don Duck is too busy cracking acorns from the acorn trees, that way, you know, the rest of the tribe members would have food. And then Tammy hears Mark's calls, and then she comes running to his calls, scaring a mole hog in the process, but still running to Mark because she hears Mark and she wants to know what all the fuss is all about. Amelia stays behind clearing some grasses because she feels like that's her duty now, and Matthew clears some grasses with her. Adam II destroys a bush, knowing that he can't necessarily pick off the berries because he has berryina claws. Both of them. And then he comes over to reveal a ground ball facing, his back facing Adam the Second, so he mauls him. And there's some meat left in the hole, so if he remembers, he's gonna snatch that up in the next turn. Amanda tries to pick some termites, but she unfortunately got some termites on her face as she's picking off some termites. April takes the healing fruit for herself, and she heals, and then she hears Amanda cry for help. So April runs back, not in enough time to try to save Amanda, but in enough time that in the next turn she's going to be able to lick off of the termites off of Amanda. Nox, his last day, he is picking off some toxic berry bushes, but he is happy because the rain has come, and he has as much toxic berry bushes as he could possibly ever want. Charlotte comes over and destroys the berry bush, and she also takes a rabbit that just so happened to cross paths with her at the wrong time, and Charlotte was not having it. Charlotte was like, "Nuh-uh, you're not stealing any more of my berries," so Charlotte took out that bunny. As for Lata and Joey, they aren't exactly compatible, but they have kind of fallen for each other in a way. And I do see that low fertility in Lata, so I am going to put in that normal fertility, even though if I'm 3 days away from getting the 100, like the high fertility trait. I had to go with the normal fertility for right now because I have not survived for enough days. So, thank you all for watching today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Unleash the beast and over and out.